Welcome to Tabletop Battle Adventures. July 21st, 1861, 10:40 a.m. Turn 2, Part 2. We are going to continue fighting the Battle of First Manassas, Bull Run. For the details, you'll have to watch the previous video, Part 1, for this turn, and it explains units' positions, objectives, and all the other important information one might want to know. We'll scan the battlefield, and it'll be Rebels Ambush. They have 2 units on ambush right now. They have Colonel Evans, commander of the 7th Brigade, 2 regiments of infantry, 1 regiment of cavalry, and a 2-gun section of 12-pound howitzers. The other unit on ambush is a squadron of 30th Virginia Cavalry. It's the sergeant. Colonel Burnside's 2nd Brigade of the 2nd Division. There's Burnside, hat in hand. His 4-regiment brigade has found the rebels, or rather the rebels' volleys found them. And we will start out by springing, and by the way, I'll be commanding the rebel forces, and my daughter is commanding the Union forces. And we'll be running a rule book that I wrote over the last year and a half. There it is. And whenever my daughter can't make decisions for the Yankees, we will roll on a solo rule set that I created for when I need to play alone. Although I prefer to play with my wonderful daughter, even though she beats me in tabletop almost every time. In the previous video, anybody who is watching will notice that I had removed these explosions from the previous turn 1. And I had removed the smoke from the volleys from turn 1, which was the 2 regiments of infantry here and the 12-pound howitzer. I did some research the last 3 days and discovered that at the first Battle of Manassas, it was a very still day, hot, sultry, I believe, and not much wind at all. And it was written by many different veterans that it was a very smoky battle. So I decided to add the smoke from turn 1, 10:30. And by the way the turns work is 10:30, turn 1, 10:40, turn 2. So every 10 minutes is the next turn. And units will be arriving at the time that they historically arrived. So for the Yankees, Porter's 1st Brigade of the 2nd Division, 5 regiments of infantry, 2 cavalry regiments will be arriving here on the Sudley Manassas Road, turn 4. And Sherman's 3rd Brigade of the 1st Division will be arriving, 3 of his 4 regiments will be arriving from the corner of the battlefield to the road center screen. And that road is the Rock Road that goes this direction, just on the other side of Henry Hill. And then this is the Manassas Sudley Road. Goes this direction all the way to where the Yankees are invading our beautiful Virginia. And here is the Warrington Turnpike. Goes this direction to the Stone Bridge. Okay. Like I said, the details, you'll have to go and watch the previous video, because if I talk about the details every video, I won't get to much action. So let's do it. Start out with a rebel ambush. The sergeant will order the squadron. Real quick, so the way it's going to work with giving out orders to other units is a officer can give an order to any equal ranking officer or subordinate officer. But this sergeant on ambush cannot order Captain Terry, but Captain Terry will accompany the squadron because he's with the squadron. But the sergeant here is going to give an order dice. He's going to pull an order from the order dice bag, and he's going to assign it to the corporal, who is from Company A. All infantry and cavalry units Company A are skirmishers and sharpshooters. When they are detached alone, they become sharpshooters acting as a sniper. And they're going to receive. He's going to receive that ambush is going to be. He's going to be an advance order, and they're going to advance over and try to get in cover behind the Matthews farmhouse. Because right now the Yankees can see me, and the 1st Rhode Island Infantry has a lot of muskets pointed my way. All right, the sergeant, the captain, 2 soldiers with shotguns, and everyone else has pistols. Dual-wielding pistols, though. And now the corporal will receive his order, and he will head over into this woods here where he can fire as a sharpshooter at Burnside's brigade. Hopefully Burnside himself, if he comes out, pokes his head out of the woods. And also he'll be able to shoot as a sharpshooter this direction when Sherman arrives turn 4. Sherman's brigade arrives turn 4, and also, as I mentioned, Porter's brigade. So the rebels have a few turns to get set up before the blue avalanche of doom comes. All right, we're in cover now. Figure out what I'm going to do with my squadron. And now the corporal's going to advance over into the woods.
Why is he?
Instead of firing his weapon, he is going to dismount. All right, next turn he'll be able to fire. And sharpshooters, when there is a solo unit, solo man, they also can start the turn on ambush. But only if they're a solo sniper or sharpshooter, as we're going to call them for this game. Okay, on to the next ambush. This time, Colonel Evans is going to, a colonel can pull 3 order dice. Here's the headquarters chart for the officers and NCO's bonuses. You can see the colonel provides 3 morale bonus and 3 extra orders, 6-inch range. Colonel Nathan G. Evans, nicknamed Shanks, he's going to spring his ambush. He's going to receive a fire order. He has a 6-inch range. He has 3 order dice as a colonel. First, he's going to order Major Wheat, commander of the 1st Louisiana Special Battalion, to open fire with a volley. All of these infantrymen have smoothbore muskets. They'll be firing buck and ball ammunition, and we'll take a look at the special rule for buck and ball. There's a fire order for Major Wheat, 14 shots. And we're going to fire at the 2nd Rhode Island, who is only in soft cover because they're only about 5 of their men are in the woods behind a fence, which is hard cover. 2 soft covers equal hard cover, but the rest are only in soft cover, so they're only going to get soft cover since the majority is in soft cover. And they're within short range. The smoothbore muskets have a 36-inch range, and these soldiers are all within 18 inches. And so it'll be not long range. So not a -1, and the officer will be at a long range, Major Wheat. So his 2 pistol shots will be at long range. Okay, let's check the little ducklings, making sure I'm being fair to the Yankees. All right, here we go. We need to find the buck and ball special rule. It took me about 1.5 years to write this.
I'm coming too.
So let's get to buck and ball. Here we go. A weapon using this type of ammunition receives +1 to hit, D2 hits per hit, +1 damage when fired at close range. When fired close range at flank of target and or fired at point blank range, weapon receives another special rule, devastating. We are not firing at the flank and we are not point blank, but we will be receiving +1 to hit and D2 hits per hit achieved, +1 damage as well. It's going to be brutal. Here we go. Let's do it. +1 to hit, D2 hits, +1 damage. General McLilly, shall I ask the dice gods on the chart if the second Rhode Island should go down, or do you want to order them down?
Order them down. I don't want to get it.
What's that? All right, they go down. We need to check what the down is for soft cover. All right, we're going to look at going down. A unit that goes down is a difficult target. Down in soft cover is a -1 to hit. Down in hard cover, -2 to hit. Okay, I'm going to calculate what I'll be hitting on. So they'll be hitting on a 3 normally, but because of the buck and ball special rule in short range, we'll be hitting on a 2. Then we have soft cover, 3. The unit went down in soft cover, 4. Okay, I got it. So it's hitting on a 3. Buck and ball makes it hitting on a 2. And then the soldiers are in soft cover, 3. Down, 4. And then my daughter and I decided that after researching, the smoke actually does make it harder to shoot at your enemy. So we're going to add another -1. We'll add that to the rules also. So it's going to be, again, a learning game, so it's going to be slow. Bear with us. So 3, buck and ball, 2, soft cover, 3, down, 4, and shooting through the smoke, 5. And then for the officer's pistols, it is going to be 6s for long range. So the brown D6s are for the officers, and the white D6s will be for all of the smoothbore muskets. Major Wheat, open fire. Ready, aim, fire. 6s for the brown D6s, 5s for the white D6s. Ooh, Major Wheat can shoot with that pistol. He got 1 hit with this pistol, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. That is a hell of a roll.
Hey, Rebel, watch him now.
Second Rhode Island takes 8 hits. These soldiers are regular. They will be killed on 5s and 6s, wounded on 4s. Not so bad. 3 wounded and 1 dead. General McLilly, do you want the 3 wounded soldiers to be wounded, or do you want to take 2 wounds and make it into a dead soldier? 3 wounded and 1 dead. Okay.
No, man.
All right, for this part here, the special rule for the Union forces, manpower. When a unit has a soldier or soldiers killed, roll a d6. For each soldier killed, a roll of a 6, the soldier is not killed.
Zombie game.
Let's see if manpower kicks in. Oh, not this time. Okay, I made a mistake. Big one. So these 8 hits, I roll again, and it's D2 hits. Okay, so then, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional hits. Okay, we're going to roll for these 6 additional hits, and it's at a +1 damage, so they're dying on 4s, 5s, and 6s. Maybe I made buck and ball too strong. 4 5s and 6s, and wounded on 3s. Oh, man. I have to recalculate my rule writing. Youch. All right, so that would be 5 dead. Oh, dear. Maybe that's too powerful, huh? What do you think?
Way too powerful.
Yeah, but you have units with the smoothbore muskets, too, that have buck and ball. Right? Okay, maybe because they're down, though, maybe that should really, they're not like standing in the open. So maybe in this case, when they're down, maybe it should maybe still be +1 to hit, but not +1 damage because they're laying down. Okay, we discussed it, and we think the buck and ball special rule should not be +1 to hit, +1, or D2 hits and +1 damage when a unit goes down. I think that makes sense because you wouldn't be hitting as many of the men when they go down. So let's roll for just those 3 wounds. For the original shots, we will not be including the bonus hits because the unit went down. All right, here we go. So first wounded soldier bleeding out in 2 turns. Second wounded soldier, 3 turns. And third wounded soldier, 2 turns. There's the carnage. Luckily, General McLilly went down, or they would have taken 6 more, or 5 more killed if they were in the open. All right, so we got 3 wounded soldiers and 2 dead so far in the fight for the second Rhode Island. We remove this brown D6 because now they are unloaded. Colonel Evans is now going to give out his second order dice to Colonel Sloan, commander of the 4th South Carolina. Now, 4th South Carolina is digging in currently. That's those logs that are being set up in front of their defensive position. And once they're dug in, beginning of next turn, there'll be 7s to hit. But for now, we are only able to shoot with half of our unit. The other half is busily cutting down the trees in the woods here and building these defenses, digging in, as we say. So they're going to receive a fire order. Colonel Sloan, fire. Okay, my 4th South Carolina is equipped with rifled muskets. There's 12 soldiers with muskets. Only half can shoot, so I'll have 6 shots. Plus, Colonel Sloan will also have 2 shots. And rifled muskets have no -1 for long range. And these soldiers are in the open. I'm going to fire at the 71st New York. They haven't been hit yet. They've taken no shots. Neither has the 1st Rhode Island, actually, here in the woods. They're at a good spot. So we'll have 6 shots plus the officer's 2 shots. Okay, General McLilly, if you go down, I'll be hitting you on 5s. It'll be tougher. Right now I'm hitting on 3s, but I only have 6 shots with the rifle, or with the rifled muskets, and 2 with the pistol. It'll be long range. If you go down, though, you're stuck. All you can do once you go down is you can advance from down. You can advance, but only at a crawl, which is 3 inches. So you'll still be able to move toward the fence. You'll be able to move toward the fence, but you won't make it to the fence. And remember, you have the 2nd Rhode Island artillery battery, 6 guns strong, is right here off the table battlefield. Yeah. And all you need to do is make room to bring those 6 guns on right here in this corner. You could bring them up onto Matthews Hill, but the problem is you have to push my squadron of 30th Virginia Cavalry off the hill first, or I'll wreck your first gun that comes on and steal it. So your 71st New York, if you don't go down, they'll take some losses, but you'll be able to make it up to that fence this turn, even fire on, say, my 12-pound howitzer up here, or on wherever you want that's in range. But if you go down, you can only advance at a crawl 3 inches forward, which is not going to give you enough room to bring your artillery in this turn. So sometimes you got to take hits. What are you going to do?
No down.
Okay, so then there'll be 6 shots hitting on 3s, and 2 shots, the brown dice from Colonel Sloan's revolver, on 4s. Colonel Sloan, open fire. White D6s on 3s, brown D6s on 4s. Only 4 hits.
Pretty good.
Not bad. Colonel Sloan with his revolver hit twice. These New Yorkers will be killed on 5s and 6s and wounded on 4s. 1 wound and 1 killed. Colonel Sloan's the one with the kill. Let's see if he gets to choose who. All right, let's see if I get to roll for exceptional damage. I'm rolling for exceptional damage. Nope. How many turns till the wounded soldier bleeds out? 4 turns. 71st New York takes 1 KIA, 1 wounded. And then we remove this brown D6 that shows that the 4th South Carolina is unloaded. And the red D6 with 1 showing is Same here with the 12-pound howitzer. It represents one turn until they're entrenched and dug in. And then we'll be only hit on 7s. Okay, I added the second layer of smoke. You'll see where the unit fired. It's still just going to provide -1 to hit, no matter how much smoke is there. Any smoke, -1. I think it'll add a cool aspect. It was my daughter's idea. She saw that I pulled the smoke from 1030 turn 1 and said, why? There it would be smoky. Clever girl. Clever Yankee. So Colonel Evans' third order dice, he's going to give it to the each regiment is any unit actually is allowed up to 2 order dice as long as they have the order dice to spare. So we will now give the Sergeant Major of the 1st Louisiana Special Battalion a fire order for a reload, and the 1st Louisiana is going to reload their muskets. Okay, they are reloaded. And that's it for Colonel Evans' 3 order dice. And now we draw the 1st order dice for 10:40 a.m. turn 2. General McLilly, do you want to pull the 1st order dice? Ooh. With the 1st order dice, General McLilly has ordered the 71st New York to advance. They'll need to take an orders test and need 2d6. 10 and under. Ooh, pass. The homemade cornfields are pretty difficult to stand the troops on, so my daughter and I decided that when the troops step on the corn is destroyed. And we will just remember that this whole area in here, even if there's no corn, will be rough ground because the corn will be smashed over. All right, 71st New York has advanced forward. Oh, okay, General McLilly has advanced the 71st New York forward, and she's left 3 soldiers back here to attempt to stop the bleeding on the wounded soldier. 1d6, General McLilly, you need a 5 or a 6 to stop the bleeding. And we will allow, if you save on the first chance, then we will allow your other 2 men to move into line of battle. Wow, you're a boss. That's 3 for 3? Last turn? Mm-hmm. Or was that this turn?
That was last turn.
Wow, good job. General McLilly with another save, 3 for 3 on her attempts. And the 71st New York loses 1 man killed. 2nd New Hampshire will receive an advance order. They'll need to take a orders test at a 10 and under. Pass. No pin mark or no stress marker. Okay, General McLilly has left 2 of her infantrymen. Can you hand me the tray, my friend? Back with her wounded soldier. And now she will try to revive him on a roll of a 5. Butterfingers. On a roll of a 5 or a 6. Okay, one more try. Give it another shot. You have Rudolph rolling it out of his mouth. You saved 4 out of 5 tries. Amazing. You saved 4 out of 5. That is amazing. 80%. And now you've made room, it looks like, for your artillery to start wheeling on. Ugh, that's going to be scary. 2nd Rhode Island battery, 6 guns. Here they come. Burnside's brigades starting to form a good line. By the way, the Confederates still have 1 reserve order dice. It can be called into play, into battle, and the Yankees have 2 reserve order dice. I'm going to wrap it up for the day. That was epic. General McLilly has Colonel Burnside's brigade moving forward, making room for the terrifying 6-gun 2nd Rhode Island battery. It's going to be spooky. And my rebels have done some damage. I've only had 1 soldier from the 30th Virginia KIA so far by a shell round. And the Yankees have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 KIA and currently 3 soldiers wounded. About 3 days from now, we'll get back to the action and continue this epic 1st Manassas BullRun. So we got some companies here from the 1st Louisiana and 4th South Carolina defending the bridge in case General McLilley's gets brave and rushes Sherman's 2nd Wisconsin Regiment over that bridge. Lots of action to get to still for 10:40 a.m. turn 2. Dismounted cavalry moving through the woods. Should be able to get some shots off this turn. Anyone interested in being oriented about the battlefield, we've got Dogan Ridge, Chin Ridge, Henry House Hill, and Rock Road here is where my first rebel reinforcements will be coming from turn 5. B's Brigade and Bartow's Brigade, plus a 4-gun battery commanded by Imboden, will be coming from this end of Rock Road. But prior to that, reinforcements from my rebels, General McLilley's Yankees, will be receiving 9 infantry regiments, Sherman's Brigade, from right here, from the corner of the battlefield to the road, 3 of Sherman's regiments, and Porter's Brigade of 5 regiments, plus 2 cavalry regiments will be coming from right here at Manassas Sudley Road, behind Burnside's brigade. All right, 3 more days, we'll get back to the action. Oh, and here's Buck Hill, where Colonel Evans set up his defenses. And here is Matthews Hill. And, of course, the Stone Bridge. And the freed slave Robinson here. Got the best spot with the river streams all around. All right, thanks for watching. Any wise advice, General McLilley, before we part?
I love Yankees.
And when we get back, it'll be a Union dice.
A beautiful Yankee day.